All right, Mets fans, it is officially official. Max Scherzer, after this long, drawn-out waiting process we had last night, is a New York Met signing a record-breaking 3-year, $130 million deal. We'll talk about it on this special episode of Locked On Mets.
You are Locked On Mets, your daily New York Mets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
So welcome to this YouTube exclusive edition of Locked On Mets. I'm your host, Ryan Finkelstein. If you want to find any of my work, you can follow me on Twitter at FinkelsteinRyan. You can follow the show at Locked On Mets. You can find any of my writing about the Mets at justbaseball.com. I wanted to record a video just to mark the occasion, right? We spent all of last night waiting to see, would this happen? I put an episode up at about 2 o'clock in the morning after just hours of refreshing on Twitter and not finding the answer we were looking for. And I really did dive into this signing already. I encourage you to check out that full episode of Locked On Mets, either on YouTube or on your podcast feeds. But we had to have just another video here to address the fact that it is official and we now know the terms of this contract. A 3-year, $130 million deal with an opt-out after year 2. Because Max Scherzer is so damn good that they think they could take another bite out of the free agency apple when he's 39 years old. That's how good this guy is. It is absolutely ridiculous, this contract that Steve Cohen just gave out. And anyone who has had any doubts about the new era under Steve Cohen, this is not possible for 28 teams in baseball with the Dodgers, maybe the Angels, I guess are the only other teams that are spending like this or could possibly even try to spend like this. And they didn't even want to match this offer. This is a remarkable day for this franchise. Steve Cohen, in the span of a weekend, essentially spent $250 million, $254.5 million. There was people who were turning down this job. Billy Eppler says, you know what? I'd like to spend $250 million. Yeah, I'll take it. Who wouldn't want the opportunity to spend that much money as an executive? Well, apparently there was a lot that turned down this job, and Billy Eppler has done an amazing job just completely revamping this team in short order. And the most credit belongs to Steve Cohen for having the commitment and wanting so badly to win that he is willing to invest this much money. You have to celebrate Steve Cohen today because this was never possible under the Wilpons. No chance. So hats off to Steve Cohen, but also to give Billy Eppler his due, you still have to get the player to agree to play for your team. Max Scherzer did not want to be a Met at the trade deadline, would not, or would exercise his no trade clause to avoid going to the Mets at that time. Obviously, the Dodgers were a better bet to try to win a World Series. Didn't happen for them, but it made sense for him at the time. Now, as a free agent, he does choose the Mets. And I will say, of course, the money was the number one motivating factor. But the Dodgers, the Angels, I'm sure he could have gotten an offer, maybe not 4 years, $130 million, but this is still a pitcher that's made a ton of money in his career, that still has deferred money coming his way this year from the Nationals. If the situation was just completely not right, he would not have signed with the Mets. The Mets did have to build a relationship. They had to talk to Max Scherzer, Max Scherzer's family, show out the vision of what the Mets are going to be over the next 3 years with Max Scherzer atop their rotation with Jacob deGrom. And ultimately, along with the money, they got this guy to sign on the dotted line. And when we came into this offseason, I've said it a million times on this show, never did I even imagine that Max Scherzer could be a New York Met. Never. You just got the consensus best free agent starting pitcher on the board. Sure, Kevin Gausman, Robbie Ray, Marcus Stroman, they're younger, they're going to get the longer deals, very attractive free agents. None of them has been anywhere near the pitcher that Max Scherzer has been. Max Scherzer since 2013, the best pitcher in baseball, hands down. Since 2018, Jacob deGrom has been the best pitcher in baseball. Max Scherzer has been a close second. And now they're in this same rotation. Max Scherzer, he's not going to start opening day because you have Jacob deGrom, the incumbent. It is just mind-boggling to think about what those two could do together this year if they're both healthy. This Mets team now, you got Starling Marte, you got Brandon Nimmo, Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso as a potential top 4 of your lineup. Your rotation has DeGrom and Scherzer. The frontline talent on this team is so top-notch right now, and they're not done. I don't know what Steve Cohen's going to do next. We still got today as maybe the last day that a lot of these deals are going to come in. We might see a Javi Baez signing just because Steve Cohen feels like it. He is flashing the FU money in a way that is just it's remarkable. He is just going around the league, double middle fingers. I am trying to win right now, and I don't care about anyone else, what anyone else has to say about it. I'm the owner of the New York Mets. The New York Mets are going to be a winner in 2022, and I'm going to open up the checkbook and make sure that happens. I think the expected payroll right now is already $265 million, and you're not even done yet. You still got to address the bullpen. You might still add another starting pitcher. You might still add another infielder to play second base. It's crazy. Absolutely insane. But here's what we're going to do. On tomorrow's full episode of Locked On Mets for Tuesday, going to have the real breakdown of everything that's going to go on today. If you want to hear more about Max Scherzer, I encourage you to watch my full episode that went up this morning about Scherzer potentially signing with the Mets. Now it's official, and then we will go on from there as this exciting Mets offseason just continues to bring us more and more presents, more and more surprises that are just thrilling if you're a New York Mets fan. But anyway, that's going to be all for this special Locked On Mets YouTube exclusive. I'm your host, Ryan Finkelstein. You can find me on Twitter at FinkelsteinRyan. Follow the show at Locked On Mets. Thank you for making Locked On Mets your first listen every day. If you want to check out another great show, check out Locked On Bets for your second listen. You can find Locked On Bets wherever you get podcasts, hosted by your boy Q and handicapping expert Lee Sterling, where you can get your daily picks, blowout specials, wrong team favorite picks, and Lee Sterling's lock of the day. Again, follow Locked On Bets wherever you get podcasts.